Hello and welcome to this week's episode of ACS Golf. Now, it's that time of year, the days are getting longer, it's starting to get warmer, we're all getting excited for spring, and you're thinking about getting back on that golf course. Obviously, some of you out there have been playing all winter, or you've been playing in the Southern Hemisphere, which is therefore your summer. Obviously, myself, I play with winter, rain, shine, -3. I'm always out on the course when I can. But for the rest of you who haven't, it's that time you're thinking, let's get back out there. And the first thing you do is you have a look in your bag and you go, hold on, what can I get to improve my game this year, help me play better, help me enjoy myself, and potentially help me bring down my handicap? Now, this club for me is a club that I'm bringing today to you that I want to review for you guys. It's from 2020. Now, I've had this club for years now. I've literally bought it brand new. It's one of the first clubs I think I ever bought. And every time I think, oh, can I take it? Because I'm a changer. I like to change my bag quite a lot. I like to try new things. I do swap everything out every now and again, but this club just keeps on coming back. I can't find, in my mind, a replacement that deserves to be in my bag over this club. Now, I tried Seven Woods. Now, Seven Woods are great options out there, by the way, so do have a look at my videos. I've done a Titleist review of a Seven Wood and also a Nike one, so do check them out. You know, Seven Woods are great clubs, but for me, it's a hybrid. And if you've seen, obviously, the beginning of this video, you'll know what that hybrid is. And it is this, the TaylorMade Sim. Now, for me, I just can't keep it out of the bag. It is such a good club. Now, what I'll do in this video is, firstly, I'll go through all the tech, tell you exactly what technology is in there. Then I'll get it down to range, do a review of how far it goes, etc. And then afterwards, I'm going to talk to you about, you know, why I think this, for me, is one of the best valued second-hand clubs on the market when it comes down for a hybrid, that sort of top end of your bag. So, first things first, let's have a closer look at the club. So here we are looking at the club. I really do like the sort of TaylorMade Sim range when they brought it out, the colouring with the white and then that sort of look of carbon fibre on the top of the head. It's great. So, there you go. I really do like the look of the TaylorMade Sim. One thing I will say is you see the carbon crown. Well, what looks like a carbon crown on top, it's not actually a carbon crown. What TaylorMade actually did was actually made it so it looked similar to obviously the fairway wood, sorry, and obviously the driver at the time. Now, going into this club, if we go into exactly all the technology in it, firstly, I will read off their website, which is always helpful. We have on the bottom there the V Steel sole. Now, the V-shaped sole, which TaylorMade used in their woods over a decade ago, returns. The idea of it helps with turf interaction whilst adding extra versatility, so you can play it from tight lies and even coming out of the rough. Now, these have been around for ages. Now, if anyone's remembered the old TaylorMade V-Steels, again, that was there. Nike have used similar things when they were producing clubs back in the day as well. And so, you know, it's now back again. The newer clubs, so the Sim 2, the Stealth, etc., where the hybrids are still using the V-sole as well. So that's still there. Now, you've got this coming down to the face. You've got a C300 ultra strong steel face. The high strength C300 steel face is said to create a more stable, faster face, which produces better ball speed to maximize distance. Great. I mean, you read these things, they all say that, which is great, which is you want. Now, this is one bit that TaylorMade do have, and you see sort of bits like it in sort of maybe, well, all clubs really. I mean, Mizuno drivers and everything that sort of all have the same sort of thing, and that's here, right at the front here. Right here, you have the speed pocket, which has been in their clubs, and it still is. And the speed pocket, is situated just behind the face on the sole of the club. This increases the sole's flexibility to generate better ball speed and more forgiveness when the ball is struck lower on the face. And that's a great thing to have, especially for a hybrid or a fairway wood, because obviously you're hitting it off the deck a lot of the time on the fairways, and a lot of the time the ball's going to be coming off low in the face. It's not going to be coming up at the top where you've, you know, obviously taking off a tee, it'll be coming in the middle face up the top, but when you're hitting down on it on that fairway, it's most likely to come off the bottom there. So any help where it comes down for forgiveness there is perfect. And then we move on to the twist face technology, which they've had in their clubs obviously for a while now, and it has been out. So first seen in the M3 and M4 drivers, and now they've actually, continued to the sim range. The twist face technology is said to use corrective face angles in order to help straighten up the ball's flight, even on those off-centered hits. A technology that no doubt seems to make sense. So yeah, so the idea is obviously the twist face. So if you hit it off any part of the face, you're not hitting it in the middle, you're hitting it off the toe or the heel, the idea is to keep that ball straight. Now, you'll find that some people, especially when it comes down to drivers, I've seen a lot of reviews, obviously, of the drivers, etc. And some people can get on with the twist face, and then some people absolutely hate it. I mean, just, if you will watch Rick Shields, for example, he does not like the twist face. He's never really been able to get on with it. But then other people absolutely love it. So a bit hit and miss that. So there is all the technology that is in the club. One thing I will say about the clubs as well, they come with these, if I pronounce this right, the Fujikura Ventus. So the Ventus blue shafts they came with, which are great shafts. I've really enjoyed it. One thing I do find with them, they really do sort of help to launch the ball in the air, but also not too balloony, which is great. Now, there's a technology about this club, and this, when it first came out in 2020, now a lot of the Tour Pros obviously tried it in 2019, did make waves in that sort of, pro players, because you had the likes of Dustin Johnson, who's never had a hybrid before in his bag, putting this in the bag. So this was the first ever hybrid that Dustin Johnson had. Rory McIlroy, there's footage out there actually, so do go on YouTube and find it. Rory McIlroy testing this in 2019 when they're all up in line testing all the new equipment, and he loved it, and it went in his bag as well. And the idea, he said, not only was it long, the sound, the feel, etc., but he said it was like hitting a 7-iron. And that's the whole point of a rescue club. The whole point of a hybrid is to be an easier hitting club than a long iron. So to say that it's like hitting a 7-iron is, well, it's perfect. It just makes your life easier. So it's absolutely great. Now, let's get down to Silvermere, and we'll talk a bit more about the figures, and then we'll talk about why I think this club is the best value. I'll talk about some prices of it and how much you can get it, and why I think it is an absolute, personally, if you're looking for a hybrid, an absolute must to look at. Okay, and before we get down to Silvermere, do remember, if you do like these videos and you do like me reviewing these second-hand clubs, do subscribe to the channel. Had some absolute great support out there so far, so it'd be really nice to see those subscription numbers go up. Okay, now let's get to Silvermere. So here we are at Silvermere. Let's jump straight into those numbers. So on average, 180 yards total carry, 250 yards total distance, 133 miles per hour ball speed, 8 degrees launch, and height of 44 feet. Now, going into my longest one though, my longest one was 201 yards total carry, 250 yards total distance, and 133 miles per hour. Now, that wasn't actually even my fastest ball speed. My fastest ball speed was actually 137 miles per hour with this club, sorry. Now, this thing is a rocket. You can really go for it and really push out the distance. But not just that, it's consistent. So, out of all the shots I hit on the range, it was 66% accuracy. So basically, the shots were pretty collected together, which is rare for me when it comes down to a longer club. I can be all over the place, to be honest. So to have that accuracy and also that distance is just amazing, really. This club really does do it all. What I found with it as well is it's, it is forgiving. It's long. It's easy to hit. Don't get me wrong. Every now and again, I will top it. I do. It's just my sort of swing. If I'm not careful with it, if I bring it too far back, I tend to go over the ball and top it. But it's just that forgiving friend that, you know that you're going to pull out of the bag and it's going to do a really good job for you. And which it does. I was on the golf course the other day with it on a par 5 in the wind, and hit it on my second shot and ended up being about 30, 40 yards short of the green. You know, it is just perfect, and I love it. I love the feeling of it. I really do enjoy the sound. If you hit it off the bottom, obviously because of the technology in it, you don't get that punished. I mean, the highest ball speed, like I said, was 137, but the average was 133, and majority of these were over 130 miles per hour ball speed, which is fantastic. Distance wise, for me in the bag, to be honest, it's great. You know, I want something around that sort of over the 200 marks, or around the, so having on average 215 is a perfect gap for me. Around the 200 is normally my 4-iron, so distances work well, confidence with it is high, and also with these hybrids, obviously, you know, you can play them out the rough. You can do bump and runs with them as well on the course. They're just such a versatile club, and this TaylorMade really did not disappoint. So there we are. There are the figures for the Sim 2. I mean, this thing really is an absolute rocket ship. The fact of the matter is, my longest one, as I mentioned before, was 250 total distance. I mean, for me, really, anything 250 plus for my driver's good. So on a really bad day where the driver's not working, you know, I can pull this out the bag off the tee and bomb it down the fairway. So it's such a good club. And one of the things they also mention about it is the fact that it's got the versatility. You know, when in tall players' bags, it's got the versatility to, you know, you can shape it, which is a great plus. Now going on to the reason why I think this is a great option for a hybrid, and I really think you should be looking out for it, and why I think it's the best value hybrid on the market. Now, at the moment, in the UK, you're sort of looking between that 70, £80 mark. So over in USA, about sort of $95 on eBay in the second-hand market. Now, yes, there are cheaper options out there, and yes, you can possibly get, you know, the Sim 2 every now and again hybrid max for that price. But TaylorMade this year only brought out one. They only brought out the Sim Max. They didn't bring out two options. Now, what's so good personally for me, especially when, you know, you're a starter golfer or a mid handicapper or someone like that who's not exactly too sure what they should be getting, it just eliminates the options. You know, we know this can be put in a low handicap scratch golfer because tall players have had it. Yeah. So we know it's got the versatility to do if you want to do shape stuff like that. But then again, it is a hybrid, and we know it's got that forgiveness as well for your medium to high handicappers. Now, you can look at the Sim 2. You got the Sim 2 Max, which is the more forgiving one out there, and then you had the Sim 2 Rescue, which you could actually adjust, had adjustability, and you could adjust, you know, the loft, etc. So you had two clubs where you had one that was really built for versatility, which was the Sim 2 Rescue, and then one which was really built for forgiveness, a bigger head, etc. You can't adjust it, which was the Sim 2 Max. And TaylorMade has sort of been keeping that going. You know, you've got the Stealth Max from last year, and then you not Stealth Max, actually, it's just called the Stealth Hybrid, and then you had the Stealth Plus, which was their more versatile one with less forgiveness. And for me, if you're looking at those two models, you're going, well, hold on, which one's best for me? And it can be quite difficult, be quite daunting to think, I just want, you know, I want a hybrid that I can do things with, it's forgiving and also long. And then so you're going, well, do I want to get this one? Do I want to get that one? But with this lineup with the Sim Max, there's only one. So you know what you're getting. You know it's going to be the best of both worlds, which it is. And it's such a great club, you know, for the price of it as well. For me, like I mentioned, you can probably get cheaper ones. You can probably pick up a Cobra, sort of maybe an F8, F9, around the same sort of time, maybe for a little bit cheaper, maybe £5, £10 cheaper. But then you're struggling to really get anything cheaper on that unless you go back a couple of years, maybe look at the M6, etc. So for like 2020, really, for really high class hybrids, you will struggle, I think, to find anything cheaper, and you'll definitely struggle to find anything that will perform better than this. I mean, and this is the thing: how much can technology really move? You look at the Sim Max 2; it's very similar, if not looks pretty much exactly the same as this club. And then you look at it and go, well, hold on, how much can the technology have actually changed in it? And it's the idea with the Stealth. Even the Stealth itself, again, looks very similar to this. They haven't got the carbon fiber face on the Stealth, or the Stealth 2. You know, they've only put them in the drivers. So you're like, well, how much actually has the technology moved on? You know, am I going to be getting an extra 10 yards? Am I going to be getting even more forgiveness? And I don't necessarily think you will. And this is why I think if you're looking for a hybrid this year to put in your bag, do check this out. Literally, I change. If you watch this, you know I change everything pretty quickly. I always like to get new things in the bag and give them a go. But I just can't get this club out of my bag. It is like the old faithful girl who just keeps on coming back. I mean, it's long, it's forgiving. I like the look of it as well. It's got a top class shaft in it, and and I can foresee it being in there this year and even going into next year because I just can't find anything that I think would outperform it. So there you go. Now, remember, if you like this video, do please give it a like. Obviously, as I mentioned before, please subscribe to the channel and comment down below. You know, do you play with a Sim TaylorMade hybrid? Have you possibly tried the Sim 2? You know, have you had the Sim and then Max and then gone up to Sim 2? Did you find any difference with it? You know, do leave those comments down below. All right, then, well, cheers, and I will see you next week.